as a spectator, you just see the outcome of it, right? That we as performers, we try that it's perfect, that there is no drops, that we don't fall, that we smile, well, in the traditional circus, right? That it's a full smile, glitter, and everything is brilliant. And I think this is like the essence. This is not life, right? There is all of the things of the falls and the drops and pain and sweat that is behind the scenes that the spectator doesn't see. Yeah, and the outcome, the number, the show is like this bubble of perfectness, this bubble of something that seems unachievable.
Welcome to Therapy for the World, an interview series exploring the personal stories of people working across the spectrum of self-care and world care. I'm Dan Sikorsky, a writing teacher and therapist, and the other voice you hear is Hanna Śmiałowska. Hanna is a traveler that found the meaning of her life in helping people through circus and other arts. She was born in Poland but feels like a citizen of the world. After 8 years of learning about social circus pedagogy in places like Hungary, Germany, Kenya, and Mexico, she's currently studying art therapy in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and leading multiple social circus projects with deep impact. We met a long time ago on the tango dance floor, where Hanna was a joy to dance with, just as she was a joy to speak with in this conversation. We recorded this on Sunday, August 3rd, 2025, at 3 in the afternoon. Here's our conversation. Hanna, I'm so glad to have a time to sit with you today and to talk a little bit about everything, about social circus and more. I want to start way back, early on, and ask you if there's any experience, person, place, something in your early life that you can point to that you think helped shape the person you are today.
I thank you, Dan. It's really lovely to be able to have this chat today. Um, yeah, of course. And I think the earliest, if I go with my memory to the earliest times, I think all the travels that I did with my parents, I was very lucky that we were a family that we have been visiting parts of the world. It did open my mind a little bit and the curiosity about the world. Um, and then when I was a little bit older, I decided to make a big part of my life traveling the world. And especially my father was very supportive with this idea. And I was super lucky that I didn't have parents that were trying to make their dream come true. Just they let me to make my own dream come true. And maybe there was a little bit of luck with the fact that some dream of my father was to travel the world. So he was like, okay, Hanya, you go. And then when I started to travel when I was 20 years old, to travel by myself, there I saw much more of the world, and I think I understood how I really want to live. And when you travel, there is so many things that you learn about yourself, and that you can find new, not only in you but also outside. And this is also how I found the circus and the social circus. It was during the travels. I have never thought about it before that this is possible to do something like this. Yeah, that it is.
You said that traveling helped you understand how you wanted to live. And how did you want to live? What was the answer that was sort of coming alive inside you around that question?
Um, First of all, my first meetings with the travelers communities, with the backpackers, but also backpackers, circus people, which is a different kind of traveling community, really showed me that it is possible to disconnect or at least get a little bit farther from the consumptionism and all the idea of you need to have a great success in your life because of your career. I think first of all, my first thoughts about how I want to live was as far from the system as possible, which of course during the years I also understood, and with getting a little bit older, that it's not first of all so easy, uh, and second of all that um, it's not fully possible. Um, but definitely it showed me that I do want to live with open eyes and keep connecting to others and keep on like learning about the other cultures and about the other people, and don't get stuck in my point of view on what the reality is, because wherever you go in the world the reality is completely different. Reality of each person is very different, but I think traveling is showing you this, that it's so precious to get to know the realities of others and question your own through that.
It's interesting that you call it traveling, and I see why you call it traveling, but to me, what I guess the word that better describes what you do is you live around the world. Traveling kind of implies a short-lived nature to the experience, but you've properly been living somewhere that's not your first home for many years.
Yeah, I think, well, now I live in Argentina for 1 year and a half. I have lived for more than 1 year in Mexico, but before, seriously, for more or less eight, um, no, now with this 1 year, it's eight, so like 6, 7 years, I did live as a backpacker, of having like 5 months in one country, 4 months in the other country, and like changing the place of living a lot and having to adapt a lot. This is actually my first experience of actually building life outside of Poland and not just being in the state of, yes, I'm enjoying this, I'm trying to find a job, I'm trying to make friendships, but always with the mindset of I am leaving soon. Now I'm not going anywhere. And I also see how many good uh, opportunities it gives me, because I can finally have the mindset of the headspace to create something and to actually build something that can grow in with time.
It's special. It's a special feeling to say I've arrived, right?
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here for a little bit now. Where along this process did you start coming across the circus?
Actually, I'm very happy about it, but it was my first big travel that I did when I was 20. I went to uh, for a hitchhiking trip in Asia, and it was 6 months. I started in China, then Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand. And so when I was in Vietnam, after many adventures, splitting with the guy that I was traveling with, um, and trying to like find myself alone in such a different culture again, the universe started to give me like signs and people that were guiding me there. One time in Vietnam, I met a few guys from Belgium and Australia. They invited me to live with them. One of them was spinning poi. And if someone doesn't know what is poi, is this balls with fire or without fire that are on the chain, and you spin them. Um, so he showed me this. I had no idea what is that. He told me about the circus festival that is happening in Cambodia next week. and my visa was finishing in Vietnam. So I was like, okay, I can also just go there. That can be the next plan that I will have. So I did that with many adventures, and I got to this beautiful island in Cambodia, and I it felt like I'm entering a new world, like a magic universe, with people throwing things, dancing with fire, doing acrobatics on the beach, and everyone just being very hippie. Let's be very honest about that. Um, but just doing this in life. And because I was in a moment of having no plan, having no idea in this moment for myself, it was like a gap year that I took after navigating to an acting school. I was like, okay, what now with my life? Uh, and I get so attached to the community, and it helped my heart open so much because they were so loving, so helpful, and so welcoming. It was the first time that in my life that I met people like this, also coming from quite cold country, which is Poland. Um, that I just get super hooked on spinning the hoop and the dragon stuff. And I just never stopped. I stayed in Cambodia for 3 months living with the community, and I started to spin, and I was like, okay, this will be my life now, which was also a crazy idea. But as I say, I was so young, and I was like, I am quite of a dreamer. So this made sense at this point. Because I also saw a lot of people around me that were actually living like this. So I saw that it's possible. Um, and of course, through the years, all the idea of how I want to use circus in my life have changed. In the beginning, it was um, the idea of being a performer, of making money by making fire shows, and um, put all my energy there in like becoming better and better with the skills. And then I think keep keeping on traveling and keeping on meeting people and getting to know what else is there in the circus to use. um, I started to understand that actually my path is not only this, that I can use it differently, and this is exactly what I'm doing now.
This will be my life, you said. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. I want us to talk a little bit about circus. I think you're one of the people in my life who has expanded my understanding of what circus is, because I think for most of us, circus represents that, red and white tent that comes to town with like a poor lion who has been attached to the circus that is there by force, sort of like kidnapping animals and making them perform for people, and people dressed in weird outfits but it's like I think we have a certain cultural understanding of circus that I don't think that's the circus you're talking about. Maybe it
Yes.
is, maybe it includes it too. But I'd love if you could just, explain what is circus.
Yeah, with pleasure. Because as you say, there is a lot of misconceptions. Because the history of circus goes really, really way back into the history of humanity. Um, but it have developed and changed and transformed to the reality that we are living now. Um, so just a fun fact that the first jugglers you can see on the some hieroglyphics in Egypt. So it's as far back that people have already learned how to do juggling, and they understood this as a way of entertainment. And then the idea that you spoke about, the big tent, this is something that was created in United States, um, which was exactly connected with a huge animal abuse. Like all the animals that were being brought to there were basically just being stolen uh, from Africa. most of them because it was the big animals, and it was a great show, and people were really doing things that at the time were unimaginable for anyone, but also were being connected with a lot of abuse because there was this part of the circus that the freak stage, the freak show, right? So the freak show now maybe we connect it with people eating glass or like throwing knives or like all this like tricks that are connected with doing something is almost hurting you, but these people have this ability of not feeling so much pain. So the freak show now it's this or doing things that are a little bit gross. Well, in the beginning, the freak show was actually showing midgets, so showing people with huge obesity, people that were tattooed all over their bodies, people with body transformation, deformations, the um, female with beards, right? And it was basically, or also there was this part of having a African woman in the freak show, right? Or some indigenous people that were being captivated, maybe offered a better life, and they were traveling with the circus, almost as in a jail, right? To be shown as a something crazy to see, right? And the huge money was being uh, put in the old circuses and also made in the old circuses. It was also kind of a way of escape for the people that there is the saying to run away with the circus. It kind of came with this the culture of the traveling circus in the United States when the troop will come. They were the builders of the big tent were very needed. So there was a lot of people that were just like seeing the show and deciding, I have nothing to lose here. I will just go with them. They give me food, they give me some money. Uh, I will be doing this. So the running away with circus was a little bit connected with this reality. Um, and then slowly, with the years, it started to develop with the culture of entertainment and stuff. I'm really happy that the animals are not allowed anymore in the circuses. It's still in our heads. I work a lot with kids, and if I ask them about the circus, they always say that it's animals there. But luckily, there's not anymore. And what is circus now? I think you can really divide it in so many different areas, which is beautiful. That it grew so much, and it's not only just for entertainment and making huge money. To the director of the show. So now I think you could divide it into the traditional circus, which is there is still tents, there is still big groups like Cirque du Soleil and this kind of shows that are really focused on making a performance that is a huge and full production with special effects and really people having skills that are um, that are almost unimaginable for the regular normal people, right, watching it. Um, but then you have the part of the circus that is now called flow arts. This is all the other uh, parts of using objects to manipulate them and do tricks. You have the juggling with balls and clubs that we might be, and hula hoops that we might be quite familiarized to see. But there is also poi, as I mentioned before. There is also rope darts, which is like a long string with a big weight at the end, and you also manipulate it with your body. There is contact stuff. There is a lot, diabolos, Chinese plates, contact balls, the crystal balls. So there is a lot of toys um, that are going into this idea of flow arts, because the main thing is that why is it called flow arts? It's because to it's because we understood. I mean, we understood. I feel a part of the community that the state of flow is almost like being high, but uh, naturally, because it's this state of full presence and using the ability of your brain to its fullest, and you're just flowing with the movement of your body, with the movement of the object, and using everything that you have already learned with the like facility and freedom that you're not, it's a difference between you're training a trick or you're training a movement and repeating it. And when you already are in the state of, I can do whatever I want, and this object will listen to me because I know it so well. And it's just this kind of state of mind when it's also very easy to connect uh, to others. It's also a state that it's being created when you play. When you play, when children play, when we as adults play also, you get to the state of flow because nothing else matters. You have to be very present. Only there are rules of the game that you follow, and you just go fully into the game, into the play. And this is allowing you to relax, to disconnect from the worries of everyday life, and it allows you to connect with others more easily because you are all in the same frequency that your brain is creating, right? Um, so that would be this part of, and you see these people from the flow community. These are the people that would be doing maybe the street shows, working on the traffic lights. That's also another part of the circus that now is happening in all over the world. You have people working on traffic lights, and it is kind of a bubble, I would say, the flow arts community, that maybe not many people know actually about its existence. We have our own festivals. We travel the world. Um, but because you do need to get very hooked with some toy, uh, if you don't allow yourself, as a person that have never tried circus before or any of the flow arts, if you don't allow yourself to try to get hooked with something, then it's not so easy to enter, because it's a quite small community. And then the you have this circus schools for professionals. You have circus schools for children, that are maybe more traditional with this idea of, let's practice a lot of acrobatics and aerial acrobatics like silks, trapeze, and aerial hoops, and other things. So that requires a lot of discipline, that requires a lot of strength, and that's also a part of circus, that it can give you this practice that can also be very useful in life. And you have all the social circus, which is huge, all over the world, and it's basically using the tools, the 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 juggling or the acrobatics or the idea of a practice as a way to connect with vulnerable people, and giving them the opportunity to or try something different that they are not able to try ever in their everyday life, to create the colorful and fun space in the reality that is quite difficult most of the time. And also in many, many countries, the social circus, which we can develop afterwards a little bit, um, is also a way to show the people from the communities, from the groups that the social circus go to, um, that there is a possibility of doing something different in life. It's many
Specifically
times
joining the circus? What would be that different
it's a little
possibility?
bit, yeah. So um, sometimes it's first of all, circus opens your creativity. Yeah, it shows you, it may puts your brain into the state of, okay, I can do something different, and it's just this idea of something different can already change your life. That you don't have to just stay in the place that you were born, stay in the community that you got born into. But joining the circus, as you said, yes, can be an option. And I have met a lot of people that were growing up in favelas, yeah, in slum areas, that have been growing up on the streets. And because at some point in their life, they met a person that came and showed them the circus, or they saw a juggler on the traffic lights, they got interested, they started to practice by themselves, and now they are doing this and they are making money by being an artist, um, which maybe in any other way would be much more difficult, that they understood that it's possible, you know?
I love hearing you speak about this because, in a way, you also flow very much while you talk about circus. It's almost like I
Yeah,
think you were speaking about each of these toys or instruments as extensions of the body, almost to which you like exert you to which you transfer some of your anima, some of your spirit, and you move with it. But I feel like circus at this point, you've been moving with it for 8 years, and
yeah,
you speak about it in a really integrated way. It's a pleasure to hear you speak about it. Uh, I was one word that was on my mind while hearing you is the word captivate, which I think speaks to many different parts of what you've been describing. First, the part of running away with the circus, that the circus would first it would capture people and
yeah,
animals. Let's start there. Capture people and animals, but then also capture people who would start working with the circus. You were, I think, captured in a way in Cambodia, in a different way, right? Captivated, which is different. You were
yeah,
captivated in Cambodia. But then there's also the spectator who's captivated while watching, which we haven't talked about as much. Why is it so fascinating for us to watch circus and watch
mm,
these performances?
yeah. That's really great that you want to speak about this also. Um, well, as from the beginning, I think there is this feeling of I am watching something. First of all, that I have never maybe seen before, right? Um, that that's how the Big Ten started to be so famous, because people just didn't have access to entertainment in this way. So it's like you see people because okay, let's say like this. Um, as a spectator, you just see the outcome of it, right? That we as performers, we try that it's perfect, that there is no drops, that we don't fall, that we smile, well, in the traditional circus, right? That it's a full smile, glitter, and everything is brilliant. And I think this is like the essence. This is not life, right? There is all of the things of the falls and the drops and pain and sweat that is behind the scenes that the spectator doesn't see. Yeah. And the outcome, the number, the show is like this bubble of perfectness, this bubble of something that seems unachievable. And because of the colors, because of the music, because of the movement of the bodies and the toys, um, it creates like a very different world. It's something that you don't see on the street. So I think this is so captivating that I'm watching something like from a fairy tale, from a movie, from a different universe. And because maybe before, now it's a little bit more that you can see a juggler on the street, but before it you couldn't. So you also would look at these people performing, think like, I'm seeing a superhuman. Because there is also this thing of, um, for many, many years, circus was presented as something unachievable for a regular human, right? Because you do need to put a lot of time and a lot of engagement and sacrifice also into becoming a really good circus performer. So it can seem like it's not for everyone, right? And I think a lot of the fame of the circus was built on this. It's not for everyone. You could not do that, but I can. So there is this feeling of, hopefully for some people watching it, it's like, hopefully it creates the feeling, oh, I would like to be able to do that. And I think, again, the neo circus, which is the circus that is being created now, that all the movements in the change from the traditional circus, now it's starting to be a little bit more human, trying to connect with the feelings, trying to connect with the spectator, also from this part of, hey, listen, I'm also a human. I also make mistakes. Um, I also speak. I also have emotions, like, um, and hopefully, with time, because it is a transformation that needs time, uh, a spectator will leave the circus feeling like, wow, I could do that also. Maybe I can try one day. Um, and again, it's a little bit like, um, circus, traditional circus, uh, and flow arts also. It's very connected with this thing of, it's like watching sports in the Olympics, right? Uh, you see people doing things that you cannot imagine you doing. Um, and I think this is the beautiful thing. And there is a lot of colors, a lot of colors. The toys are colorful, the costumes are colorful. So everything is like, I think it's connected with something in our brain that is very attractive to the shiny and colorful things. That's also a way why we get so captivated watching it.
I'm
I think that.
considering I'm considering the connection there with your mention of social circus, which is a really big part of what you do now, and I'd love us to talk about that. It can seem almost offensive to suggest to the presence of colors and illusion and everything is great in places where that's not true, right? I think there's a juxtaposition that occurs in the placement of circus in places where joy is not obvious or easy to come by, play is not easy to come by. I wanted to talk about social circus. How did you get to that? In your exploration of the circus community, you went to Mexico to train for a while in that
Yeah.
modality. How did you arrive at social circus, and why did you choose to go to Mexico too?
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah. So uh, when I was uh, when I was still traveling with this idea of being a performer, I was going to many of these festivals. There is an EGC, which is like a European juggling convention. It's the biggest European juggling convention. And there you meet people, right? And I started to connect with people that started to tell me that this is what they do, and that it's not only the performing part, that you can go and play with the vulnerable communities, with children that are living on streets, with single mothers, in the refugee camps. So I just started to hear more and more about this. And I think also clowning was something that came even before that, to connect a little bit more with the playfulness, with the fun, with being silly, with allowing the mistakes, you know? And when I started to open this part of myself through the clowning, which is another beautiful part of the circus that I didn't mention before, and it's like inevitable. Like it's kind of, it have always been there, and I hope it will always be. Um, I just got inspired by people, right? And so there is a lot of big organizations that are working around the world, and I started to hear about them. And I think just at some point, I really don't cannot recall a moment or anything like this, but I felt like, you know what, I actually want to do this. Like I understood that I don't want to spend my life training only the tricks, to be a great performer and to just be on stages, because this is well, this is the reality. If you really want to make your life from this, you need to do only this. um if you really want to, like, sell yourself well, because most of the performers are freelancers, and you have to be your own manager and everything. And I was like, I don't really think it's connecting with my essence, you know? So I did, one day, I just did a huge research of social circus that exist. Um, I found some groups, and I found the training. The first one I did was with, it's called Kate, and I did it in Budapest. It was like like 10 days or something like this. Um, and there I understood where, basically, what do we learn in the training for social circus? We learn how to, first of all, the different methods of teaching the tricks, for how to approach a group of 4 years old, how to approach a group of teenagers, how to approach adults, how to approach people with disabilities. So basically, the idea of social circus is to make all these things that I just said, that seem imaginable and inaccessible, how to make it accessible, and how to give everyone a chance, even to try, even just to try, you know. Um, so I did that, and I started to give classes by myself when I was still in Poland. Wherever I would travel, I would just like play more and more with children that I would meet on the beaches, on the streets. And you can see that when you walk around any place and you have I have my hula hoops with me, the children are like, it's a toy, it's a toy. So for the children, it's like, can I try? Can I try? Can you show me something? What is that? And if you allow yourself and you open yourself to be ready to play whenever, then you can really create beautiful moments, beautiful tiny moments in your everyday life. So then I basically went to Mexico before I was also in Germany, um, with Kabuatsi social circus. That is also a very big movement of social circus in Berlin. They do a great job also with refugees and the children from schools and poorer areas also. Not only, but also. So I worked a little bit with them, and I understood that yes, this is the way. Let's keep on going. Then Corona came, and I'm losing my chronology so much. Before I was in Kenya, so that was the thing. When I did all the research, yes, when I did all the research, I found some organizations. One of them was Performers Without Borders, and I tried 1 year, but I was such a beginner. I was like 1 year of doing circus, so I didn't get in. I tried the next year because during the year I get better. they accepted me, and I went to Kenya, and it was 2020. Um, I went to Kenya for 3 months, and we did a social circus project when we were teaching the acrobats from the Nairobi Circus School how to juggle, how to use the different toys than just acrobatics. We were going to slum areas and to very poor schools. And there I got more, it was like a process of years getting just more tools and more tools and more tools of teaching, coordinating groups, finding my own way of being the coordinator, finding my inner clown that would help me to run all of this. Kenya was a huge experience. It was always part of my dream to go to Africa. So it was also a dream come true. Then I ended up on a small island, Fangana Island, it's called in Kenya, where already by myself I connected with one organization, and I was teaching there in a school and giving some movement and circus activities with my 5 hoops, 7 hoops for the group of orphans. And I was like, yeah, this is giving me a lot of joy. Okay, let's go this way. And you can see, as you mentioned, that you go to these um, vulnerable places where, as you said, joy is not obvious. And I think it's such a precious ability to have when you have dance, circus, any kind of art that can create a magical world for anyone, even just for a moment. Art is a way of uh, transforming and expressing the emotions that are like deeply hidden in us. So it might seem, little, but really an hour of playing safely, of playing with someone that gives you his full attention, just for you, kid. You have my full attention. I will watch whatever you want to show me. I will clap and applaud any smallest achievement you make. This can really be very, very um, not only satisfying but like upbringing, and self-esteem building for this small creature or a big creature also, because adults are um, are a part of social circus too. Um, so with this project, I understood the power of the social circus even more. And I basically had to flee Kenya because of Corona. I could not stay there. And when Corona kept on going, I was in Berlin. It was starting to be winter, which is very sad in Europe. So I was like, I am leaving. And I was still in the traveling mode back then. And I went to Mexico because Mexico was open and you didn't have to have a vaccine or test or nothing. So I went to Mexico, and there I found the Matching Cuepa organization. I did the 2 months formation with them, and it was incredible, to see also a Latin version of of the approach to social circus, which is very different from the European one. The European social circus. It's very much, we have a social school, we have all the equipment, we bring children to our circus tent or to our circus school. We have a lot of equipment that we can bring to the refugee camps or to the refugee centers. So it's very like abundant, which is amazing. And then and also in Kenya, I was with the European organization, so we also were bringing that. Um, and then in Mexico, the approach to social circus was, let's play with nothing let's try to create toys from anything that we find. Of course, great if we get to get the circus equipment, but we don't have to. So there, I learned a lot of games, a lot of like very community and group and coordination based activities, which I think it's something that in Latin America is very present. Like there is much less individualism in the society. Maybe still, well, of course there is some, but people are living together still. Uh, so in the vulnerable communities, there is even more of that, you know. Um, so I got a lot of tools there in Mexico. Also got in touch with some Mayan communities, and that was mm, another way of seeing a very different vulnerable reality. You know, like this is also beautiful about the circus and the clowning, that it opens you doors to places that maybe you would never end up in just by being a tourist. I also have to um, I know that by being a European, I am very blonde and with my blue eyes, and so when I go to countries of different culture, and I would not be doing circus, probably I would never be able to so easily meet these communities that I met, because maybe I would be seen just as a tourist with a lot of money, or they would not trust me so much, or maybe, which happens also, unfortunately, you know, they would try to take advantage of me in some way. Um, and because I have all the toys and my red nose of a clown, I really ended up in places that would could also be very dangerous for me if I didn't have this. But it's very not common that someone hurts a clown, for example, you know. Uh, Here in Argentina, I end up in Buenos Aires. We went with my clowning group to Villa 31. We got lost in Villa 31, which is quite a heavy part of Buenos Aires. But it happened because we were dressed up as clowns, you know. Um, so you do bring smile wherever you are, and the feeling of playfulness if you go with circus. And I think this is the beauty of it all. I hope I answered your question very widely, but
It's a it's truly a pleasure to hear you speak in general and about this. I there's just such sincerity and connectedness to your story in you. I'm enjoying listening. So yes, you answered my
thank
question
you.
entirely. I'm I keep coming back to something we were saying earlier about what exactly it is that's being offered to folks in who benefit from social circus. We talked about offering them opportunities was a word that you used earlier, and
Yeah.
I butted in there and I said, "Well, do you mean like to join the circus as the opportunity?" And you said certainly they could, but primarily and above all, what is being offered is that opportunity to be attended, to be listened to have your inner clown enabled, right? To
Yeah.
play, to see joy. I think that is what you guys are offering, right? In those moments.
Yes, yes, definitely. Yes, to see joy. That's really really great what you just said, because um I think when social circus groups come, they really really try. Like we do put a character on us. We don't come usually as like regular people just to hey guys, you want to play. No, you do have to be very attention llamativo in Spanish. How would you say it in English?
Attention grabbing.
Yes, exactly, attention grabbing. you have to like capture these kids that with kids or adults also that maybe because of the fact that they live in such in hard conditions, they don't trust so much, and you are a stranger, you are a person. Yeah, many times this is people from different countries traveling to do social circus work in difficult conditions. So you need to create the character that will be calling you to play with them, that you just kind of cannot say no to them, right? And yes, we do try to be excessively happy, because I think it's it's allowing to the ones that we work with to feel the same, to feel like, okay, it's possible. He is so happy and so joyful, and he's jumping when something works. I can do that also, because especially if you work with kids, they are a mirror and a sponge to everything that's happening around. So if they don't see adults around laughing a lot and having the joy from the smallest things, and maybe sometimes they are being called out for being too loud or too expressive, too too much, with their childhoodness, uh, childness. This is the essence. The joy is and playfulness is the essence of a kid, and they are being called out because you shouldn't be do that, or it's not the place, or la la la, all this stuff. Then all this essence is being a little bit like put in a box that luckily with the play it can explode again.
Yeah,
Many
all you need to
times,
do is open it. All you need to do is open it.
exactly. Give it a space to be expressed. Many times, also the space of social circus place. It's not only about, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna teach them how to juggle, right? It's about also like making songs and dances and playing music so that they can actually be very, very loud, that they can scream, that they can like jump and dance and just do the recharge, no, not recharge, discharge, loose and leave out all the tension that is being created in everyday life, which everyone should be doing. But it's a little bit easier to offer it to kids because they are still open to, use the opportunity when you give it to them to the fullest.
Before you have to go, I'd love to talk about the specific project that you're working on now. I feel like you have 1,000 projects, but maybe you can build a landscape of the projects you're currently working on, especially Mamboretá.
Yes, thank you very much. With pleasure, because um, I feel it's like my and our small baby. After so many years of traveling and working with other organizations and seeing different methods of the work, of the social circus work, being here in Argentina now, I felt like, okay, I am ready. I think I am ready to finally start something mine. Um, and so Mamboretá is one part of the social circus work that I'm doing as a branch of the Kemamba organization. It's an organization that was started 4 years ago or 5 years ago by my friend Ezequiel, who is Argentinian, and it started as a music school for the kids and the adults. But the objective is to bring art as a tool for social change, right? Um, and they have been doing some activities in poor vulnerable areas before, but now me and my friend Nika, who is Argentinian also, we were offered by Ezequiel Barquemambo to start this social social project. So what we do is that for the last 4 months, for now, we have been going to the Plaza de Mayo, which is one of the biggest squares in Buenos Aires, where there is comedores, like um, food sharing mm, events happening, and there is a lot of them in all Argentina. So there is one on Plaza de Mayo organized by Red Solidaria. They go every day, which is also an amazing job that they are doing. Big respect for them. They have been doing this for 13 years. And we are going there each Friday, and we go with a group of volunteers. We bring our toys, and we bring the colorful and safe space for the kids that are coming with their families. These are mostly children from or with families with very little resources, or children that are living with their families on the streets. Um, so we are coming there, and we already get to the point after 4 months to create that these kids, they understand that this is a space for them. So uh, we have our lonas, our blankets.
Blankets.
Yes, we put blankets on the grass. We put lights. We put colorful um, banderines, girlands to create the space a little bit. We built fake fire space that is like a place of meeting in the beginning and at the end of the session, which is really beautiful. And we come there for 2 to 3 hours, which is quite a long time, but this is how much the kids are there to not only play the social circus games and to teach them how to hula hoop and teach them how to do Chinese plates, but also through the display, we really wanted them to, in these conditions, to give them a little bit of breath where they don't have to, be all the time attentive if something is going to happen to them. Um, where they don't have to, it maybe will be very strong what I will say, but it is true that in the condition of the crisis of homelessness, there is a lot of drug addiction, there is a lot of alcohol addiction, there is a lot of um, very, very violent uh, behavior that these kids have to deal with, that they are just next to it. Um, and I think it's super important to give them the space that they are not around it, just even for these few hours, that they don't have to deal with another drunk man that is passing by and wanting something from them. And the, it's another very heavy thing to say, but they don't have to see their parents dragging themselves, which is happening, unfortunately, where they are far from the parents or the friends of the parents that want to punish them by giving them a slap. This is unfortunately the reality that these kids are living. And um, again, it's not a lot, one time a week, but you can really feel that it is meaningful for them. Like whenever we are going and we are like getting to the square, they come running to us and they scream our names and they want to help us bring all the equipment, and they want to like they feel that it's their space already. It's really beautiful that they do care, and it's also something that, like, to care for the space, to want it to be, let's say, clean, organized, to understand that, this is ours also, like this is our space, this feeling of belonging, um for children that are living in situations that they don't have it so much, or it's very unstable. I think it also gives a big a big self-esteem boost, um,
It's
and
an
of course,
alternative space.
yes, exactly. It's an alternative space that they can use as they want, and we also try to give them the freedom to we not that we go calm and we are like, today we will do only this, you know it's a place where we allow them to offer the games, we allow them to offer the dynamics and to make changes in what we are doing so that it's matching um their will and their ganas.
And what happens at the end of those events? You said that you guys sit around the fire in quotes.
Yes.
What goes on during those moments?
So after we finish, so basically we do the activity. As long as there is food being given, the kids eat, and that's also a beautiful thing. That before they have been like going to eat with their parents, and now they are just bringing food and eating with us, and this is our space to eat together also. Um, and afterwards, after we clean, we sit around the fire and we have this moment to thank each other for playing. We have this moment um, to look each other in the eyes, and we have this small ritual. Let's say that we connect our hands. Each one is putting one hand to the middle of the circle, and we create like this big sun with our hands. We close the hands, so there is this like big spiral of the hands created, and we send the full energy and gratitude to the universe. And it's really lovely, and it's like it's a bonding experience for them also. Where everyone is equal and there is a place for everyone also in the circle. Um, that's the power of the circle, and the fire also has this symbolism of of something warm, of something that is pleasant to be in. That's why we decided to have this with us. Yeah.
It's a
Ah,
beautiful activity. You're gonna cry.
it is.
I wonder how people can learn more about the project or support it.
Yes, of course. So, well, I think the social media that is the most developed in this moment is the Instagram, which is kemambo dot org .ar. There they can find the materials from the sessions, and there is also a link tree where they can get to know more about the school itself, but also about the project, and also um, the same name as the Instagram page. This is the website also, so kemambo.org.ar AR is the website that shows you all of the projects, and so this is where you can read about it. And because we are starting, and because we are um, individual organization, we are working donation based. So there is an option also to donate if you feel like you can donate monthly, which is super helpful because it gives us this freedom to plan activities for the future, because we will know that we will have enough for to get the materials, to get the materials that are maybe simple, but you use them, all the time for the drawing and manual activities, but also the circus toys that are being used, and there is more and more children that are coming, so we do need more tools to be able to offer the activities to more kids. We are now also going to one orphanage, which is a very different very different surrounding and conditions to work at because it's teenager boys, which is a challenging place to be at. We are there for 1 month, also going every Saturday. So my weekends are full social circus. Um, and it's working. Like Circus is getting to them a lot. Um, so yeah, to be able to sustain these two projects and hopefully in future, that's our goal, that we would like to have more equipment and a van or at least a car for the beginning to be able during the week to visit more places and hopefully in some time, hopefully next year, let's see how it goes, we would be able to actually do a round trip around Argentina and at some point Latin America and bring this joy and the activities, this safe, colorful and magic space to more and more and more kids. So on the Instagram, there is everything on the website, and the donation is quite clear. The process of donation. If you are from Argentina, you can donate through Mercado Pago. If you are from outside, you can donate through PayPal. So it is quite accessible, and just to say that it's really really helpful for us to project bigger, right? Um, and yeah, let's hope that it will grow. We have a lot of visionary visionary ideas that just need time to develop and grow and root themselves also in us and with the kids. Yeah.
I feel like you have a wind carrying you forth. You have had that for a while. You share that with others, and I have faith that that wind will keep pushing you in the direction that you're projecting. I want to thank you deeply that you are precisely the type of person and the type of feeling I was hoping to have while speaking to someone on this show, on this series. Um, and so thank you for the work you do and the person you are and the way you make me, the people around you feel as well.
I thank you, Dan. That's really, really beautiful to hear that. I appreciate, and this is also one of the things that motivate me to keep on going. You know, a good feedback is always a beautiful push, and like even in the moments of a little bit like, okay, is it actually, is it actually working what I'm doing? It's it's very helpful to hear that back. So thank you so much, and yeah, let the wind keep on blowing, and I hope it will come from many different places. Thank you so much for the talk. It was a pleasure for me.
Thanks for being here. If this conversation resonated with you, consider reviewing Therapy for the World or sharing the link with someone who might appreciate it. Until next time, speak with care and listen deeply.